Ann Whitehead. I'm a Fellow of the Royal Society of Arts, and since 2018 I've been a Global Goodwill Ambassador. Well, I was born in this country and born in Withington, and grew up in Sale, so the borough of Trafford. I came back to Withington when I was mid to late teens before I went to university, and for the majority of the time I was brought up by my mum. My parents split when I was about 7, 8. So I was raised by my mum, a very strong Jamaican lady, petite Jamaican lady. I always thought that her and Eartha Kitt, if anybody knows who Eartha Kitt was, were a kindred spirit. She was Catwoman in Batman, which I thought was awesome. And she was a very proud NHS nurse. And this is what I observed growing up. So watching the way my mum was very stylish, very entrepreneurial, embraced lots of different people, even though there were 1 or 2 times where there was some racism, but she embraced different people of different ethnicities. So I've got a cousin who was born in London, okay, and he was 4 or 5 years older than me, and he was obsessed with Spider-Man. And he used to get Marvel comics sent from the States. And then when he'd read them about 4 times, 5 times, his mum would stack them up in a box and send them to me, much to his annoyance. So I got into Spider-Man and Hulk, first of all, absolutely. And to this very day, I am such a geek. From a race point of view, because that's the obvious thing, when you look at me, you see a black girl, woman now, but a black girl growing up. And there were certain little hiccups and discrimination from the school I went to. So I passed my 11 plus at Withington Girls, that Mum wanted me to go to Withington Girls. But they said I couldn't go to Withington Girls because I lived in the borough of Trafford and couldn't come across to Manchester. So I had to resit the 11 plus again. And I passed it to go to Sale Grammar. Back then I was a really good athlete, and I was a member of Sale Harriers. And I did a lot of, I did the 200 and 100 metres. And at one point I did the relay as well. And well, I did the relay and the hurdles. And they just wanted me to represent the school. So I did more stuff from a athletic point of view than I did from an academic point of view. And Mum got talking to another mother and the other mother was saying that there was too much homework coming through. And she was like, Caroline doesn't get any homework. So my mum did this thing whereby at that particular time, the nurses were decommissioning the capes that the nurses wore. Mum kept her cape. It was always when she wanted to make a point. She'd have a uniform on and a cape, and she flew in there like Nanny McPhee in to see the head teacher. And she said, my daughter is not a racehorse. You build up her mind before you build up her muscles. Every time I sat at that T-junction, Wimslow Road in Cheadle, looking at the White Hart pub and looking at St Mary's Church, I just really loved it. And I thought, oh, well, you know, one day I'll live round here. And that is basically it. So I started my married life in 2001 in Stockport. From that point of view, great neighbours. And also as well, you know, we have a good chit chat. We're on a group chat on WhatsApp. This is how good the neighbours are. And we've got a little dog at the moment, and I can just walk around the block, and it'll take me quite a while just to go around the block with the little dog, only because I'm talking to everybody and everybody's talking to me, and they're very pleasant and lovely. Given that I'd moved to Stockport in 2001, 10 years later, I was getting to know Stockport really, really well from this point of view, as in the community. And when I say the community, I couldn't walk into Mersey Way and people knew who I was. It was quite interesting because we do community groups, we do community events. Came up with the funding forum, so I do that every couple of months, the funding forum, whereby all these different groups coming together, looking for funding, but also sharing their ideas of what they're doing within their community. So I see myself as local to global. My local is Stockport, and of course taking it global. And I have been stood at the United Nations and talked about Stockport.